All right, folks, you just saw the end of the JV matchup, which was a thriller between Heritage and Leo, with the Patriots coming back and winning in sets 2 and 3 in that one. So congrats to Heritage JV for getting the win. We have a big one here tonight between the Patriots and the Lions, two of the big powerhouses locally, we should say, and two EACS powerhouses trying to get primed up for postseason play, which is very, very much is getting closer to us by the day, we should say. Less than 2 weeks as it stands. So, there's the 5-minute warm-up period going on right now. Pre-conferences will be coming up in just a little bit. We will step aside and we will join you at the start of this matchup between Heritage and Leo. A big thriller coming up here tonight from the Lions Den here at Leo High School. Back in just a little bit. This is high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like, you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Volleyball was a great experience on my first initial visit, and then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before, and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I moved down here when I was younger. I went to the gym with my brother and my dad. It felt kind of natural. I just had a love for it. I feel like it got serious when I went from probably my 8th grade year to my freshman year. I knew Purdue was home for me because I just felt very comfortable when I got onto the campus and got around all the people and the team. They love me, I love them. And I'm just super excited to play with that group of girls and that group of coaches. Now I'm in here working out and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders. You get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
It was after a bad game in 8th grade. I decided that I was going to try my best to, be able to earn a scholarship and play in college. And so I'm really excited for it. Once you come here for a while, you have all the experience. I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger, especially in basketball-specific positions. I feel like I'm able to move better. I'm more flexible, able to run faster, jump higher, and just stronger overall. So then, when you go back to your school, you can take that experience, to help you prevent injuries when you're doing your own weight training with your own school.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Last year I was on JV and it was the last point of our Snyder match. I just went down and I couldn't move. I could not get back up, and I had torn my ACL, part of my meniscus, and then I also had severe bone bruising. It was kind of tough to just be I can't play volleyball, and I really have to work to get back to where I was and try to be better and grow from there. So Dr. Hartswell was the wonderful surgeon who did my knee, and for 2 months between my injury date and my surgery date, I went to PSM sports therapy, and I really got some great care before my surgery that would help me to be stronger afterwards. For about 6.5 months after surgery, I was also with PSM just working to get back and be better. The exercises my physical therapist Will has are really geared toward his individual patients, and it was just cool to see the different progressions from exercises that I would be doing. And I think that was a big part of knowing where my progress was and knowing where I stood. There's nothing else that brings me as much joy as volleyball does. Just being able to confidently say I can do this move, or I can do this move, or I feel safe with my knee. I think that was when I really knew that I was ready to get back out there.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade-in services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape, and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
Spent countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of a mental thing too, just telling myself you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was a big decision of where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit. And then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a third-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before, and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I moved down here when I was younger. I went to the gym with my brother and my dad. It felt kind of natural. I just had a love for it. I feel like it got serious when I went from probably my 8th grade year to my freshman year. I knew Purdue was home for me because I just felt very comfortable when I got onto the campus and got around all the people and the team. They love me, I love them. And I'm just super excited to play with that group of girls and that group of coaches. Now I'm in here working out and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders. You get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
It was after a bad game in 8th grade. I decided that I was going to try my best to, be able to earn a scholarship and play in college. And so I'm really excited for it. Once you come here for a while, you have all the experience. I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger, especially in basketball-specific positions. I feel like I'm able to move better. I'm more flexible, able to run faster, jump higher, and just stronger overall. So then, when you go back to your school, you can take that experience, to help you prevent injuries when you're doing your own weight training with your own school.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Last year I was on JV and it was the last point of our Snyder match. I just went down and I couldn't move. I could not get back up, and I had torn my ACL, part of my meniscus, and then I also had severe bone bruising. It was kind of tough to just be I can't play volleyball, and I really have to work to get back to where I was and try to be better and grow from there. So Dr. Hartswell was the wonderful surgeon who did my knee, and for 2 months between my injury date and my surgery date, I went to PSM sports therapy, and I really got some great care before my surgery that would help me to be stronger afterwards. For about 6.5 months after surgery, I was also with PSM just working to get back and be better. The exercises my physical therapist Will has are really geared toward his individual patients, and it was just cool to see the different progressions from exercises that I would be doing. And I think that was a big part of knowing where my progress was and knowing where I stood. There's nothing else that brings me as much joy as volleyball does. Just being able to confidently say I can do this move, or I can do this move, or I feel safe with my knee. I think that was when I really knew that I was ready to get back out there.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade-in services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape, and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
On a misty 61-degree evening in Leo Cedarville, we welcome you to one of the more anticipated matchups of this 2025 season and a rematch of sorts between these two teams as the Heritage Patriots come to town to take on the Leo Lions. And a very big matchup as both of these two teams just trying to get in position to get ready to go for postseason action, which is, believe it or not, less than a few days or less than 2 weeks away. Good evening, everybody. Joe Northern, so delighted to have you with us. These are two teams that quite simply have been on a roll and then some. You have to go back to April 15th as the last time that Leo lost a matchup, and that was to Columbia City at Columbia City. But since then, they have rattled off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 matches in a row and have looked to continue to add on top of that thanks to a big win at Warsaw last night, making that a 3-2 final. They also did go the distance with the Woodland Warriors too, winning that one 3-2 as well. So again, this is a team that will definitely grind out to get wins, and even if they have to drop a set or two, they'll get back in action. Meanwhile, one of the losses in the 3 of the season was against this same Heritage Patriot team at the EACS Invite, or the Tri-Meet, we should say, with New Haven and Leo and Heritage in the mix as well. As Heritage swept the leg on that one, with their only 2 losses of the season coming in at 11-2, or a 3-0 sweep to Homestead and a 3-1 loss to Snyder. But they are now looking to try to get in prime position to get back to, or really not get back to form, but continue to stay in form as the postseason is lingering upon us. And again, both of these teams, interestingly enough, will not be in the same sectional. As we know, Leo will be going to the DeKalb sectional, while Heritage will be making the trip over to Southside. And both teams, pretty good favorites to win those districts head on. Again, with some other tougher competition yet to come in those. We'll just have to wait and see what the draws look like coming up on Sunday evening at the 6 p.m. start time. But for this one, however, we're going to see a lot of star power between these two teams here on the court tonight. As we take a look at some of the leading stats, Lucas Stetzel, currently the leading attacker for the Lions, coming in at 3.7 kills per set. Riley Murphy not too far behind. He's got 2 on the season thus far. And Alex Raptis, again, the block leader, he's coming in with 9 total blocks in the 2025 campaign. Meanwhile, for the Heritage Patriots, again, they're led by Indiana Tech commit Zeke Litchfield, but have a variety of really offensive powerhouses that can give teams fits across the board. Again, we mentioned Litchfield at 3.6 kills per set. Braden Walter not too far behind with 2.9 kills per set. But Zeke Litchfield, again, leading the way in digs, total blocks with 38 on the season. The front line for this Patriot team is going to be very, very interesting, and we'll see how the Leo Lions can stack up to it, as they also have a little bit of a height advantage over Leo as it stands right now, as we will get you ready for this matchup, an all-important one here tonight in the 2-6-0. And tonight's games on Summit City Sports and all the action all season long is brought to you by Kelly Automotive. You can shop DriveKelly.com right now and get free car washes when you buy from Kelly Automotive. Brought to you by the Big Eyed Fish. The Big Eyed Fish has been around the Northeast Indiana area for generations, where you can enjoy the best fish at Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment only at the Big Eyed Fish. By Tom Steel Tire with 2 locations off Clinton and West Jefferson. Tom Steel Tire, servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years, that'll help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle and other auto repair services. Also brought to you tonight by Ottenweller Contracting. We invest in our customers by providing peace of mind from bid to build. Visit OttenwellerContracting.com. Brought to you by Summit Volleyball, training and building the highest quality volleyball players in the area from ages 5 to 18. Jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. Also brought to you by Jolly Law Firm, the area's best criminal defense firm, helping defend the accused from the government. Whether you're facing an OWI or any other criminal accusation, Jolly Law Firm is the answer. By Siaka Cleaning and Restoration. Siaka Cleaning and Restoration. Quality work, responsive service, and a commitment to people. by online degree programs at the University of St. Francis, built for your convenience and ease and flexibility, as most programs can be completed in 12 months. You can visit them online at online.sf.edu. Teams are getting ready to get set up. We will get you ready with the opening, with the first serve coming up in just a moment. This is high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit. And then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a third-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call Fort Wayne home than SummitCitySports.com.
I moved down here when I was younger. I went to the gym with my brother and my dad. It felt kind of natural. I just had a love for it. I feel like it got serious when I went from probably my 8th grade year to my freshman year. I knew Purdue was home for me because I just felt very comfortable when I got onto the campus and got around all the people and the team. They love me, I love them. And I'm just super excited to play with that group of girls and that group of coaches. Now I'm in here working out and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
The athletes has always been here, and they're getting better. I'm watching, Summit City Sports, man, they're doing an awesome job. And, that's a plug. Them dudes are doing an outstanding job. And I'm able to be in Nashville and watch games on YouTube that they're broadcasting, and I'm seeing the talent. And it is just truly outstanding. And, you guys have seen the talent that's in the NFL now from Fort Wayne, Indiana, the talent that's coming up now, and the talent that, is just here, man. It's really cool.
It was after a bad game in 8th grade. I decided that I was going to try my best to, be able to earn a scholarship and play in college. And so I'm really excited for it. Once you come here for a while, you have all the experience. I feel like I'm getting a lot stronger, especially in basketball-specific positions. I feel like I'm able to move better. I'm more flexible, able to run faster, jump higher, and just stronger overall. So then, when you go back to your school, you can take that experience, to help you prevent injuries when you're doing your own weight training with your own school.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
JV, and it was the last point of our Snyder match. I just went down, and I couldn't move. Like, I could not get back up, and I had torn my ACL, part of my meniscus, and then I also had, like, severe bone bruising. It was kind of tough to just be like, I can't play volleyball, and I really have to work to get back to where I was and try to be better and, like, grow from there. Dr. Hartswell was the wonderful surgeon who did my knee, and for 2 months between my injury date and my surgery date, I went to PSM Sports Therapy, and I really got some great care before my surgery that would help me to be stronger afterwards. For about 6.5 months after surgery, I was also with PSM just working to get back and be better. The exercises my physical therapist Will has are really geared toward like his individual patients, and it was just cool to see the different progressions from exercises that I would be doing. And I think that was a big part of like knowing where my progress was and knowing where I stood. There's nothing else that brings me as much joy as volleyball does. Just being able to confidently say, I can do this move, or I can do this move, or I feel safe with my knee. I think that was when I really knew that I was like ready to get back out there.
We're just ready to get underway in what is going to be a key matchup for that could play a few factors in the rest of this regular season back here at Leo Cedarville. As again, the Lions come into this one 14-3 on the season. The Patriots 11-2. Not too many changes of what we'll see in the starting rotations for Abby Tagulas's Heritage Patriots. The beginning rotation is going to be number 1, Chase Buck. Number 11, Graham Simmons. Number 12, Braden Walter. Number 14, Zeke Litchfield. Number 2, Eli Tagulas. And number 9, Gary Gerber, going to be on the court presently for Heritage. Meanwhile, for Leo, the home white uniforms, libero in purple, it's going to look like Trent Glass. Going to be starting it off with a quick serve in a moment. Jax Witziger wearing number 3. Riley Murphy up on the other end. And Stetzel up front. Down low as we are underway. Glad you're with us. An important one here tonight between the Patriots and the Lions. As Buck gets this one high and over. Blocked up. Got it to go. And the block master already coming on strong. Coming off the hands of who else but Lucas Stetzel. So Stetzel getting first point in this one. And a matchup that could quite simply go the distance. With both teams very equal on paper, very talented across the board. Again, while Heritage having a little bit of the height, Leo doing a great job at least on that front line too. So we'll be interested to see how that'll play a factor between these two here tonight. Here's Graham Simmons, the 6'3" opposite hitter. Runs this one over and gets this one high. Now tipped up the other way, can't get it. So little floater not going in the advantage of Witziger. But it'll float out of play in the meantime. So no harm, no foul. So the quick side out, we're even at 2. Again, really the big key is who is going to find momentum first of getting those quick points on the board. Really as quick as you can, too. Witziger gets it across. Tip this down to Gerber. Kind of miscommunicates up front. A little bit of a collision between Raptis and Glass. And the Patriots answering right back 3-2. So more substitutions going to be coming on in as we'll see Corbin Roth enter the match for the first time tonight. No substitutions yet for Leo. Here's Roth. Gets this down to Glass. Glass lobs it up the other way. And a dig all the way back to Buck. Walter going to have to go with a high pass, and he does. And a block at the net from Litchfield again. So Zeke Litchfield again. Really one of the big components for this Heritage team, if not the major component for this Heritage team. As we'll see him play next spring at Indiana Tech. Roth gets this across. There's a high serve down to Murphy. And Murphy answers right back. Let's cut the lead down to 1. 4-3 just getting underway. Again, a little bit of a delayed start time tonight due to what ended up being a really good JV matchup, with Heritage coming back and winning that one in 2. Or I should say coming back and winning sets 2 and 3. Litchfield again, it gets this across. A low dig on the way for Smith. Smith, it's up to Murphy. Blocked again, but out of play. So the swing goes wide again here at the home of the Lions. And again, a great crowd here on hand tonight. There's the block up front, still kept live. Murphy had a hand on it to get it, but again, Walter kept it up. Down low, and ready to go is number 10, and Cooper Harris. So the Lions now on a quick little 3-0 run, and trying to keep an 11-game match winning streak going here at Leo tonight. There's a quick block up again from Litchfield off the hand. He got it. Tagulis also contributing just a little bit, too, to make it now even at 5 here in the first. So a great matchup between these two teams already living up to the hype. Litchfield gets this across. They go up front. Now brought down by Murphy. And a quad hit going to be called against Leo. It looks like that's going to go against Riley Murphy, so can't do the 4 hit. And Heritage returns to the lead, 6-5. Litchfield again to continue the rally. Again, Litchfield leading the way across the board for this Heritage team. There's Litchfield, gets this one high on the dig and creates something out of nothing play. Glass again. Gets this down to Harris, but out of play. So a heads-up play, getting a quick side out off the hands of Harris. And Litchfield will continue the rally, 7-5. Here we go again. Litchfield gets this down to Harris. Harris up front, finding Murphy. Got it off the tip. It's off the fingers of Braden Walter in the meantime. So we're back now to a 1-point affair here just early on in set number 1. Another opportunity for Tagulis. Gets this one across. A nice diving save from Stetzel, still kept alive by Murphy. Murphy now gets it across, finding up the other way. Connecting now to Nagel. Dug again by Leo. It's Raptis to get it over. Now back over to Buck. Buck sets up for Tagulis. Walter lobs it on over. Now a chance for the Lions. It goes off the hand of Jacob Reese. Still kept live. They'll have to get it over, and they do. Litchfield all the way to the back row. Now finding Murphy off the tweeter. So a long rally for both sides, but it still ends up going to the way of the Patriots with it hitting the pole. And it's a 8-6 affair, an advantage of Heritage. And a net violation going to be called against Heritage, so Leo now with an opportunity to return the favor, go on a little bit of a rally of their own. And the last time these two teams met, it was during the EACS invite, the EACS tri-match, we should say. With New Haven also in the mix, Heritage swept everybody 2-0, including Leo, as this one goes out of play. And off the hands of Riley Murphy. So again, Heritage only 2 losses on the season, coming to Snyder and to Homestead. Again, 2 very dominant teams in the SAC. Quick serve across now, finding Litchfield. Down low and got it. So really, momentum has been something that we haven't seen really flux between one team to another here in this first set. But again, really living up to the hype and Again, both teams really just kind of combating with each other. There's a push up front from Nagel to extend the lead back to 10 for the Pats. It's Chase Buck, the sophomore libero, to bring it over. Again, with the exception of Buck, Bates, Roth, and Reese, everybody for the Patriots above 6 feet as that's going to go into the net. And another service error going to be on the board for the Patriots. Here's Glass now to bring it over. Glass gets this one across, finds Takulis, down, and a lift call going to go against the Patriots. So we're even at 10. 10-10 on both ends. Here's Glass, gets this across. Now finding Simmons. Simmons finds Gerber up front, but out of play. So another side out going to go against the Patriots, and the Lions now with a great opportunity. They're on a 3-0 run. Their first 3-0 run of the match thus far. Here's Glass to get it across. Glass now finding Tagulis. Tagulis down to Litchfield. Down low, still kept live. A great dig on the way from Raptis. Now the Patriots going to have to try to bring it over. And they do. The little floater on the other side from Graham Simmons. And that makes the match even at 11. With Simmons to bring it over. Simmons gets this one across. That is brought low by Raptis again. Raptis still trying to keep his hands on it. And bounces over. A little generous bounce over from Gerber, but can't get it off the lift. So Leo now with the advantage, 12-11. As they're starting to take away a little bit of the extra momentum here in set number 1. But still have a lot of work left to do. So this match, obviously, one that both teams have had circled on their calendars. It's one we've had circled on our calendars since we got our schedules lined up and ready to go in this 2025 campaign. That's off the tip the other way. And it's 12-12. Now the chance incoming for Corbin Roth. Roth hits this one high. Down to Murphy. He got it to go. 13-12. So again, really just back and forth we go with these two teams, and it'll continue to be that way for at least quite some time in the match. Here's the push now from Buck. Buck. Whoa! That is as much of a lift as I've ever seen one. More of just a generous hold in the meantime for Riley Murphy. So that got quite a few chuckles from the Heritage faithful, which we are sitting right near here at our vantage point at midcourt. Here's Tagulis. Down low. Dug up by Glass on the other side. Lobs this one back over to Stetzel. An opportunity for the Patriots to reset. Got it. Whoa, still kept live. It was off the hand, but out of play. A great attempt from Ethan Smith to try to keep it afloat, but it just floats out of the box, and the Patriots back on top by 1. Litchfield again. Runs that up into the net, still kept live. Back over to Litchfield, they go to Walter. Walter off the tip, lobbed over, and out of play. Back-to-back side outs for the Lions. And Heritage continuing to ride the momentum. And thanks to the big 1-4 and Zeke Litchfield. Gets this one across. Now finding Smith. Lobbed over, blocked down the other way, and got it. And now it's safe to say the momentum is certainly swinging towards the way of the Patriots. And a timeout called by Leo. So a quick early start on the board for the Patriots as they lead it by 3, 16-13. here in set number 1. Tonight's game on Summit City Sports is brought to you by the Refrigeration Masters at TJW Industrial. Visit them online at tjwindustrial.com for refrigeration, HVAC, and plumbing, the 24-hour emergency service. And by the 10,000 skilled laborers, or the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with the Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA. So again, it is now Heritage with at least a little bit of that extra momentum here in set number 1. So they've rattled off 4 in a row. And Litchfield trying to continue the rally to make it 5. This one's out to the back row to Glass. Lob this one back over to Stetzel. Now the other way come the Patriots. It's Walter going to the back row to connect with Glass on the pass. High dig the other way. They go to Litchfield and back to Walter. Dug again by Glass on the other side. Now they go to Harris. Harris blocked up, got it! As Alex Raptis shuts the door to cut the lead down to 2, 16-14. Here early on in set number 1. Raptis again, into the net. So a little short into the net, stops the brief Leo rally. The lead extended to 3, 17-14. Here's Tagulis now to bring it over. Gets this one high. Little short one the other way, and couldn't connect on the approach. As Riley Murphy could not get it close enough to connect with Ethan Smith in the meantime. And the lead extended back to 4. Here's Tagulis again. This one goes down to Glass. Glass on the other side, finding Murphy. Murphy sets us up. That'll be short on the opposite end, too. So back-to-back short balls. And a 3-point game, 18-15. So we got a great crowd here on hand tonight at Leo as another side out going to go off the hands of Murphy. And the lead extended to 4, 19-15 here in the first. As again, the Lions, they have played from behind. And despite on a current 11-game winning streak, they haven't. Not all of them have been sweeps. Actually, very few of them have been sweeps. That's off the arm of Graham Simmons. And the Lions cut it back down to 3. 19-16. There's the push up the other way. Now finding Tagulis. Tagulis over to Gerber. That's blocked up top, but out of play. And off the tip of Gerber, it looks like. So Leo going to get another crack at it. It's 19-17 here in the first. Here's Brady Simpson to bring it over. Simpson sets this on high. Down a booming attack from Simmons. As Glass will pass this one over. Now they find Gerber again on the attack. Down in the back row. As Gary Gerber gets the quick attack to cut it, or extend it, we should say, back to a 3-point lead. We take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, just had the great approach across. Down low and got it ready. And another big swing the other way, this time coming from Lucas Stetzel, the junior phenom for this Leo Lion team. Who could very well potentially be getting some college offers of his own down the road. Here's Litchfield. Swing is wide, and the lead cut down to 1. So it's been a great matchup between these two teams. Very quick, we should say, between the both of them. But a 20-19 affair. Possibility that this could go to extras. That one goes out of the box. So a side out again. Going to benefit the Patriots. It's their 4 away from wrapping up set number 1. Here's Graham Simmons to bring it over. Simmons gets it across, now finding Murphy. Blocked out the other way to Litchfield. Now a chance for Chase Buck on the opposite end. Looks down to Litchfield to get it easy and right down the middle. So the quick attack from Litchfield continues to keep it going. As again, it has been nothing but Heritage trying to take a little bit of that extra momentum here in the matchup thus far. As we take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, you see the pass over from Tagulis, positioning Litchfield to get that ready to go and on the board to extend the lead to 3 points. 22-19 here in the first. And a great crowd here on hand. Folks making the drive from Monroeville and some coming right down the road here in Leo. But wherever you may be watching, whether you're in person or watching online at SummitCitySports.com, we're happy that you're with us. And again, our inaugural season of bringing you boys high school volleyball on SummitCitySports.com. So we've got 2 more regular season matchups before we get to postseason play coming up in less than 2 weeks. Of course, that'll be through the IHSAA, and we'll be producing one of those sectionals. Just not sure which one we are going to be headed to yet, but would likely assume DeKalb is going to be a potential option. And a high hand going to go against Stetzel to extend the lead back to 4. It's 23-19. And we'll break down the sectionals coming up next week before the broadcast with Carroll and Columbia City, as that'll be your game coming up on Monday night from Columbia City. Here's Stetzel. Couldn't get this one across, but boomed out a play by Litchfield. So again, a 3-point set, 23-20 here in the first. Here's the push over the other way. Now finding Raptis. Raptis sets this over for Witzigerter. Witzigerter still keeping it alive. Now over to Stetzel. Gets it over the head of Tagulis. And the lead now halved down to 2. 21-23. Patriots still with the advantage, but the Lions trying to knock on the door. Here's Witzigerter the other way. Now connecting up to Litchfield. Is it inside? It is. Looks like it maybe grazed off the finger of Trent Glass on the opposite end. As we'll see Ethan Smith return to action, as Witzigerter will take a seat. So 24-21. Patriots now with set point. Here's a push the other way. And who else but Zeke Litchfield to shut the door again. So Litchfield shuts the door on Leo. It's set number 1 thanks to a booming attack up front. And that is how set number 1 will come to an end as the Patriots take care of business 25-21. Take a look at that big attack again. Coming from who else but number 14. He gets it down and ready to go. And that is where we stand at the end of 1. Heritage gets set number 1, leading the match 1-0, winning at 25-21. We'll be back with the second coming up in just a moment. You're watching high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
The future is what you make it, so make it matter. At the University of St. Francis, we'll help you build a purposeful life, one based on your interests, goals, and desire to make the world a better place. Learning is personal here. You'll be known by name, supported by experts, and connected to professional opportunities. Our Catholic values will inspire you to use your education for the greater good by serving and leading others. Remember, the future is what you make it. Build a life of meaning and purpose at St. Francis. You belong here.
25-21, that's the win from the Patriots in set number 1 as we get ready for set number 2. And again, a Leo team that coming into this one's won 11 matches in a row since the loss to Columbia City back on April 15th. And that includes wins against the following, and in this order: New Haven, Belmont, Southside, Blackhawk Christian, Concordia, Northside, Huntington North, Norwell, Woodland, and a big one with Warsaw last night at Warsaw. But one thing to note, though, is that the Lions have only swept 3 teams in that 11-game winning streak, that being Belmont, Blackhawk Christian, and Concordia. Other than that, Leo's a team that definitely likes to go the distance, as you see quite a few 3-2 wins. We saw one with Woodland on Monday night, with the Lions having to go to 5 in that one, and then having to go to 5 in Warsaw. So again, not an easy stretch to go through, but again, this team continuing to ride with a bunch of swagger here in set number 2 as we get just about ready for set number 2. In starting rotations out on the court, but for Leo, you're going to see Brady Simpson back up front. Stetzel going to go in the back. And for Heritage, it'll be Chase Buck to get things started. Here's Buck now. Gets this across. So they're kind of squirming all the way from the back row and kind of playing the deep game. As Glass gets this over, down to Litchfield. That's blocked by Stetzel, still kept live. What a play from Tagulis. Now an opportunity for Leo. A big swing coming from Witzigerter. Tipped up, got it to go. A quick push thanks to the absolute big effort from number 2 in Eli Tagulis. We take a look at that again. Presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, see the wide swing in the back. Keeps it down and over, and still live and ready to go. As they get another quick point on the board in the meantime to make it now 2-0. So all of a sudden, the Patriots are riding in with a little more momentum here in set number 2, as they're off to a quick 2-0 start. This one goes across the board. Now a wide swing coming in from Witziger. Hits it down to Tagulis. Tagulis all the way across, finding Simpson. Simpson tipped out, now to Buck. Buck lets it drop in front of Trent Glass. And all of a sudden, Heritage out to a commanding 3-0 lead here to start set number 2. And Chase Buck going to continue the rally until it goes out of the box, as it just did. So out of the box temporarily for the Patriots. But again, a quick 3-1 start here in set number 2. Now, what can the Lions do on their rally? Go short into the net, as Trent Glass couldn't get that one over in time. So 4-1 the advantage. Here's Graham Simmons now to bring it over. Simmons gets this up to Simpson. Now tipped down to Stetzel, but out of play. And it was off the tip of Tagulis in the meantime. So, again, Tagulis kind of in that middle position again where you don't know whether you need to go for it or let it float out. Because had he not tipped it, it still would have landed inside the box. Saved by Buck on the other end. Now they go to Gerber on the lift. Now outside, the sneak attack coming in from Murphy. They go back to Gerber. That's dug in the meantime from Witziger. Now back to Stetzel. Stetzel low. and forcing the deflection off the hand of Jacob Reese. And all of a sudden, the Lions now adding a little bit of extra flair here into the second set, make it 4-3. In case you're just joining us, Heritage won the first set 25-21. The 7:35 start time, thanks to JV, running a little bit late, but a great matchup at the JV level. As Gary Gerber gets that roll across the top, and 5-3 advantage to the Patriots. Ethan Smith coming in for Jax Witziger, I should say. Corbin Roth now to bring it over. Gets it down to Glass. Little collision up into the net, but still kept inside by Glass. Now a chance up front for Walter. That's deflected off Simpson. And the run continues 6-3. So the Patriots again doing a great job of trying to shut down any momentum that Leo has tried to bring in here tonight. But again, Leo too. This being their 12th game or their 12th match, I should say, in 15 days. So again, not anything necessarily unheard of in the world of volleyball, but again, kind of a long stretch of action for the Lions. Now, they did have a 5-day break after the Norwell game for adding Woodland and Warsaw to the docket. As the game against Snyder, that was initially scheduled to be on Tuesday night, got bumped to Saturday. Here's Walter with a big swing down low. As Walter gets on the board and makes it now 7-4. Heritage with the advantage. So here comes Zeke Litchfield. Low serve down to Glass. They volley this over back to Witziger. Now again to Walter. Does he find the edge? He does not. As it was not touched by Trent Glass, so Leo going to get a break on that one to make it now 5-7. So a great heads-up play coming in from number 1, the libero, to make it a 2-point affair again. Raptis gets the serve across, now brought back by Heritage. Leo, what can they do on the other end? A high pass coming in from Harris. They go again up front to find Nagel. Nagel doing a great job at that front row to make it now 8-5. And one thing that the Patriots have been known for is really to have that commanding front row. Something that Leo does really good of, at least, kind of controlling from the back of the box, where Heritage really likes to try to force you up front. Smith to get this over. Tipped by Harris. Waffled by Tagulis, but Buck on the quick pass to get it over and in time. Now they go to Stetzel, blocked again by Nagel. They go to Harris again, and another block! A dual block. It looked like Graham Simmons and Singer Nagel both got a hand on it, and to make it now 9-5. As all of a sudden the Patriots, again, with that commanding front row, it's very difficult to try to get anything past them. But Riley Murphy just did. So we found the quick open, kind of that little open real estate at the front of the line to force it up, down, and over. So 9-6 advantage of the Patriots. Smith gets this one across. Tip down to Walter. Walter the other way now, finding Glass. Blocked again by Nagel. Singer Nagel making some noise here to make it now a 4-point game. 10-6 here in set number 2. It's been a great matchup thus far, but so far it has been the Patriots continuing to ride the momentum. Leo still far from out of it. Again, a team that really likes those marathon matchups, and if they can continue. So a 4-hit going to go against Heritage. And all of a sudden, Leo returning back to prominence as they now trail within 3. Again, we'd like to welcome those of you who are joining us here tonight in our first season of high school boys volleyball on Summit City Sports. It's been a dandy thus far with some great competitive matchups and 2 teams that we've seen quite a bit of this season with Heritage and Leo. And both teams that could really make a deep run in their respective sectionals, should you get a good pairing on top of that too. And a net call going to go against Heritage. So all of a sudden now, Leo cutting a 4-point deficit down to 1. It's 9-10. Here's Brady Simpson to bring it over. A high serve down to Litchfield. Litchfield gets it out to Gerber. Blocked up, still kept in play by Walter. And that is brought in time by Simmons. Here's Stetzel. Now back to Litchfield. Litchfield connecting to Gerber, but out of play. And all of a sudden, Leo on a... Wait, hang on. Just noticed a push go against Leo. So a push against Joel Dillingham, it looks like. And that extends the lead back to 2. So for a moment, Leo thought they had the match tied, but not the case. As Chase Buck now to bring it over. 11-9 the advantage. Here's Buck. Down to Glass. Glass gets this one over. Sets over to Stetzel. Dug by Tagulis. They go to Gerber, but not high enough. And the lead extended or cut back down to 1. 11-10 here in the second. It's the Lions again trying to rally back to even the matchup at a 1 apiece. Here's the push from Glass. That is going to float out of play. A little deflection coming off the hand of Simmons, and we are even at 11. The Lions looking for their first lead in set number 2 tonight. Here's Glass. Gets this out to Buck. Buck over to Litchfield. Down and in. Again, Zeke Litchfield doing a great job of attacking that middle real estate in Leo Lion territory. And the lead extended back to 1. And back to none. So a net violate, or a service error, we should say, for Graham Simmons to make it even at 12 here in the second. What a great crowd we've got here tonight at the home of the Lions. Again, roughly maybe 150 here tonight. Again, it's 2 very supportive communities. That's going to be a service ace on the board for the Lions. And now they've got their first lead in set number 2, 13-12. Here's a Witzegruder the other way. Gets out to Tagulis. Tagulis down to Litchfield again. Zeke Litchfield continuing to do quick work at the front row. And continuing to shut down any opportunity of a Leo comeback. We take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Just gets the commanding strike and just not enough time to react for Brady Simpson. Walter now in control. Goes to Tagulis. Tagulis can't get that one up and over. It's now a 1-point advantage yet again for Leo. 14-13. And the leader, and one of the leaders on this team, and Lucas Stetzel to bring it over. Gets it up to Litchfield, off the tip from Murphy, still kept live. Now they go to Harris. That's brought over by Reese. And again, back to Litchfield. Dig on the way from Stetzel. They go to Murphy. Takes a little bit of a roll, but still live. Now back to Walter. Dug up again by Glass. Get the pass and the attack ready, and inside the back of the box for Lucas Stetzel. So a quick push in for Stetzel to get back and give Leo at least a little bit of insurance points here. That's dug by Glass. Tipped out the other way. Set over for Roth. Roth on the opposite side. Lobs this one over is Walter. Again, off the net. This one's still live. But that one's going to go way high. Brought up for Litchfield. Fake attack down to Walter off the top. So an entertaining rally nonetheless. And the Patriots cut it within one. Let's take a look again at that Stetzel attack that you just saw to make it 13-15 again. Just found a great cut in the back of the box to find that open real estate. That one's high and out of play. Stetzel was looking for an opportunity to at least keep it going, but nonetheless, Heritage is now even the match at 15 here in set number 2. Here's Litchfield. Into the net that goes. So the Lions again still in control. They lead by 1. Here's the great attack coming in from Raptis. This one's brought high. Now back to Walter. Walter on the opposite end. Tipped down. Got it! As Brady Simpson with a little floater on the opposite end to make it now a 2-point affair in advantage of Leo. 17-15, and what has been a very entertaining match between these two teams here tonight. And they keep it going to Raptis as that's going to go out of play. 16-17. Leo on the board, but trying to even the match up. Heritage trying to take that commanding 2-0 lead if they can. Tagulis gets this across. Now finding Smith. Smith goes up into the net for Stetzel as he couldn't get high enough. And we're even at 17 again. As Tagulis is, well, hang on just a second, it looks like Coach Ashley Robbins discussing what potentially might be a rotation error or a scoring error at the moment. But instead, we'll take a timeout. So 17-17 here in the second set. It's been quite the matchup here tonight at Leo High School. Tonight's game on Summit City Sports is brought to you by Park PSM Edge and their Edge training program at Parkview Sports Medicine. It maximizes your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and get you to the next level. Visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge to schedule your free consultation. And, of course, brought to you by Summit City Sports. Summit City Sports, the leader in high school and collegiate coverage in the 260. You can follow us on X at 260 Sports, like our Facebook page, Summit City Sports, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Well, again, it's the Lions that have continued to really keep things going, but Heritage now fighting their way back into this one, evening at 17. And starting rotation back on the floor for Coach Abby Tagulis and company. She thinks her guys could definitely get the job done. Litchfield, little floater right up the middle of the glass. Now they go to Murphy, off the tip of Litchfield. A great push coming in from Riley Murphy. And the lead back to 1 for the Lions. Again, the Lions on an 11-game winning streak. We'll want to try to make it an even dozen here tonight. That goes into the net against Murphy. And we're even at 18. So again, the Lions, 1 timeout remaining. Really need this set to at least get on equal footing with the Patriots. Walter takes a second and then lobs it up. Now this goes back to Murphy. Tipped over again by Nagel. Now again to Witzigrudder. Not enough. as the approach was just a little low, and the Patriots return to the lead, 19-18, and the 6th lead change of this set thus far. Here's Walter to get it across. It's dug by Murphy. Running up into the net, still kept live. Here's Glass. Tip on the way from Witzegruder. Now again, a little push-up coming from Simmons. Simmons out to Glass. Tipped over to Stetzel. Stetzel the other way. Finding Gerber. Gets a quick push on that one over. Now over to Witzegruder. Gets a quick tip up and over. Gerber again on the other side. Gets it off the tip. Murphy was waiting for him, ready to go. Witzegruder got it! So after the prolonged rally, we're even again at 19. So a lot of ties and lead changes here in the second set. What's been a very entertaining second set here in the Lions' Den tonight. There's a commanding swing from Graham Simmons. As Simmons just busts the door open to get the point. So we take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, getting them set up for success is all they need. Buck gets that one into the net, however, off the serve to make it now a 20-20 affair. So who's going to have that little dose of momentum here in the second? As Glass gets this one over. Now they go to Litchfield. That is dug, but out of play for Brady Simpson. As again, it looked like he was trying to hustle to keep it alive, but it was going to bounce near the top of the box. In the top right corner as Coach Ashley Robinson company want to stop and think it over again once more. So 21-20 here in the seconds. And the Patriots looking to try to go up 2-0 on Leo here in this one. Again, they faced off just a couple of weeks ago where the Lions were swept by the Patriots 2-0. And those two sets was 25-16, 25-19. An advantage of the Lions. Or an advantage of the Patriots, I beg your pardon. And in that matchup, I mean, again, no surprise with Zeke Litchfield leading the way with 9 kills on that one. For Leo, again, Lucas Stetzel with 7. But still plenty of time left to go here in this one, but Heritage wants to try to get that commanding 2-0 lead. Can they get there? Here's Witzegruder. Now back over to the Patriots, and Gerber lobbed up off the hand of Murphy. Couldn't connect on it. As Murphy couldn't get the palm up the way that he wanted it to. And the Patriots now back up by 2, 22-20. Simmons to get this one across. Into the net it goes for Alex Raptis. And now it's the Patriots riding in with a late momentum swing. And an opportunity to try to go up 2-0. Here's a push up the other way. Hey, get this one across. And nice diving save coming in from Glass. Now they go up to Tagulis. Lobs it over. They didn't get the call for the lift they wanted. Litchfield with the block. Zeke Litchfield continuing to carry his team on his shoulders. And it's set point here in the second. Here's Simmons to try to close it. Get this down to Glass. Glass down over to Stetzel. That's tipped up from Litchfield. Now they go again to Simmons, but way out of play. So the Lions still back into it. But they're going to have to try to get a little more momentum here in this second set as they trail by 3. Need to rattle off at least 5 in a row. It's Jackson Witzegruder now to bring it over. Here's the push across. Now they go to Litchfield again. Gets it out to Glass. Glass keeping it out, and it is out. A double hit going to go against Leo, and just like that, it's the Patriots up 2-0. Let's take a look again at that sweet attack coming in from Zeke Litchfield. So we'll have to go back and rerun that for you. Here we go. He's found the great approach that he needed to get that up and on the board. So again, same as it was, same as it ever was. 25-21, 25-21. We head to the third coming up in just a moment. This is high school boys volleyball on SummitCitySports.com.
Why choose Kelly Chevrolet? We offer a wide selection of new and used inventory with a team that guides you to your perfect fit. Our certified pre-owned options ensure peace of mind with warranties and rigorous inspections. Competitive pricing, flexible financing, and convenient trade-in services, making your dream Chevrolet a reality. Trust our experienced service team to keep your vehicle in top shape and enjoy free car washes as long as you own your vehicle.
We head to the third set, and Heritage already with a commanding 2-0 lead, 25-21, 25-21. Again, closer than the last time that these two teams played back on April 12th in a two-set sweep, part of the EACS meet, where Heritage took care of business 25-16, 25-19. But this is a Leo team that is completely rebounded, but now on the ropes to try to keep their winning streak alive. Their 11-game winning streak alive, we should say. And to do that, they'll have to dig in very deep here in this third set. And the third set historically hasn't been kind to the Lions. It is their lowest scoring set, really, on team averages this season, with 21.3 points on average in the third. Heritage, on the other hand, also with their lowest set average in most matchups with 23 points. And again, really comparing the two teams on paper, I mean, again, both very even in kills coming into tonight's match. Heritage with a 6-kill advantage, 425 to 419, but really do a great job on the defensive end. Meanwhile, Leo does a great job of kind of passing the ball around on the opposite side, with 141 aces compared to Heritage 70, and 417 assists compared to the 390 for the Patriots. Meanwhile, the Patriots dominating in blocks, 79 to 49 in the team comparison coming into this one, 493 to 333 in digs, and 651 receptions compared to 339 coming into tonight's match. So again, they continue to keep it going. Find out here in set number 3 right now. Glad you're with us here on a Wednesday night. Just like that, a quick start on the board for the Patriots to get it up 1-0. And again, these Patriots, again, one of the big roadblocks for them that could be in their sectional would be the Homestead Spartans, as they've been on an absolute tear in this 2025 campaign. We'll get a chance to see them take on New Haven coming up next Tuesday night. High push from Kerber the other way. Lobbed low now for Murphy. Murphy connecting with Tagulis, and Litchfield on the inside and in. So 2-0 advantage for the Patriots. And again, the Patriots on a little bit of a winning streak of their own, too, coming into this one. Again, 11-2 on the season. They dropped the game to Snyder 3-1 on Wednesday. but able to get 2 in a row. Murphy with a little floater on the board to cut it down to 1. But again, notable wins on the season, getting the win at Columbia City to start the season. And then really just kind of sweeping the table. They haven't gone to 5 at all this season. They really do a great job of at least trying to command opponents quickly. I should say. And not give them really any chance to move forward. We've continued to see that here tonight, thanks to, again, a dominating performance from the Indiana Tech commit in Zeke Litchfield, who I know will be calling his name quite a bit for Coach Jordan Rosenberg and company at the Schaefer Center next fall. That's off the tip of Tagulis and on the board for Leo. Is Cooper Harris going to be coming on in as Brady Simpson will take a seat. 3-2 Heritage with the lead, but Leo not giving in anytime soon. This one's down low. Now finding Smith. Smith hits this high. A big swing on the opposite end by Riley Murphy to get it on the board. And all of a sudden, Leo has evened the match at 3. Here's the push now from Tagulis. Hits up to Simpson. Now back over to Smith. Smith down to Glass. Glass on the opposite end. Now finding Smith. Smith up to Litchfield. A great block coming in from Murphy. So Murphy with the great block up front to get the Lions back in the lead here in the 4th. Take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, just a great block and push up front to make something out of nothing. And Murphy, of course, during that break, gets another point. So now all of a sudden it's Riley Murphy with the advantage. And again, the Patriots trying to go for the sweep here, but Leo looking for that reverse sweep. They've played probably more one. Trying to find the right words for it. They've probably played more matchups where it is really in the advantage that they play 4 or 5 sets. We've seen them really do that more than anybody, at least of teams that we've seen in the 2-6-0 this season. While Heritage, again, has done a great job of at least shutting things down. In fact, if this were to go to 5, it would be their 4th 5-game match in 9 days. And potentially their 3rd in a row. Leo getting the quick point there to make it 6-4 here in the 3rd. Into the net it goes. Back on the board for the Patriots. So again, they were down 2. As Leo was down 2-1 against Warsaw at Warsaw last night. But then we're up 2-0 against Woodland before coming back and winning the match against Woodland as they let the Warriors back in it, but were able to pull away in set number 5. So again, 5 sets, not dissimilar for the Lions, but they would have to do it for a 3rd night in a row as Harris couldn't get the angle he wanted on that one. To make it now 6-3, or 6-6, we should say, here in the 3rd. Here's Tagulis now to bring it over. Tagulis gets this across. But a little miscommunication for Zinger Nagel. And the Lions back up by 1. More substitutions coming in as we'll see Josiah Reynolds enter the match for the first time tonight. As Murphy's going to take a seat, and so will Ethan Smith for just a moment. The booming serve from Reynolds. Now gets this across. Blocked up and got it. A great push from Nathan Tietrit. Nathan Shritsesh, we should say. To get the Lions back up by 2. So again, different rotation for Coach Ashley Robbins and company. There's the push. They're looking for the whistle. So a service violation, it looks like that's going to be. As our line judge was waving, hey, you can't do that. You can't do that. And he certainly cannot. 8-7. With Walter down to bring it over. Here's Walter. Run, jump, serve. To get this down to Stetzel. Stetzel on the push. Finding Witzengerter. Now back to Gerber up top. Takes a favorable bounce it in. Gary Gerber with the great push up front, up forward to even this set at 8. And will 8 be enough here in the third? Here's the push for Walter on the opposite side. Little low serve now down to Stetzel. Witzengerter in the face of Tagulis. Oh my! A booming swing and attack. As they will pause for just a second, as looks like maybe some blood coming out for Tagulis. As we'll take a look at that again, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. So they're getting a trainer again with a big bloody swing for Eli Tagulis. So hopefully he will be all right. But a big swing on the opposite end to get the Lions back up by 1. And all of a sudden, now it looks like Tagulis is just trying to get it patched up in his nose to try to stop some bleeding and potentially get back into the rotation. We'll look to see if there will be any potential substitutions. They're trying to get some saline spray the other way and trying to get him taken care of. And Tagulis is back. As you can see, the coaches, again, all really rebounding and trying to help them, really help each other out. And, you know, those are the wholesome things you like to see in sports. So as they're getting some of the perspiration, a little bit of the blood off the floor, as they'll be taking care of matters shortly. So making sure it's not too slick. And again, it's been a slick matchup tonight. It's been a great matchup tonight between these two teams. Taking a look at what the rest of the schedule holds for them in 2025. Again, the Lions have a break until Saturday, but then 4 matchups all within Fort Wayne schools as they'll welcome Snyder here Saturday morning. That's a 10:30 start time. And then head down to Southside on May the 5th. Welcome Wayne and Dwenger on May 6th and 8th to close out the 2025 regular season before they head over to DeKalb for their sectional matchup. Meanwhile, for the Patriots, they have a big one with Carroll tomorrow night. And then we'll head down to Wayne on May the 5th. And then welcome the Warriors of Woodland. And then finishing the year at Northrop. So not an easy slate for Abby Tagulis and company to close out the regular season. But we'll certainly get them primed up and ready for postseason play. As Graham Simmons gets that one on the board to make it even at 9. Tagulis back on the floor. He's got the nose patched up and ready to go. As a side out goes against the Patriots and back to Leo. 10-9 our score here in the third. Lions with the advantage as Glass brings it over. Gets this one high, finds Tagulis. Down to Litchfield off the light tip and got it. He found the open real estate that Riley Murphy couldn't get to in time to make it now 10-10. And the great push on the other end for the Patriots. And again, credit to Leo too. These are two of the most dominant teams at their level as it stands, as the swing goes wide for Witzengerter. But they will not be in each other's regional or sectionals, we should say. Of course, this being the first year of the IHSAA Boys Volleyball Championships. Again, very similar setup to what we see with the girls. as Witzengerter gets this one down to make it even on 11. But again, 10 teams will be in each sectional with the matchup split over 4 days on May 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then the semifinals and championship at DeKalb coming up on May 17th. Of course, we don't know what those pairings looks like as of yet. Alex Raptis on the push to make it 12-11 on the sweet flush. Of course, we don't know what those schedules will look like as it stands. But once we do know those pairings and official times, we will let you know. Again, those pairings will be announced coming up on Sunday. Here's Stetzel down and in. Stetzel doing a great job with his commanding approach up front for Leo. And trying to get his Lions to force another set here in this one. Heritage trying to shut the door and finish off with a sweep. The swing goes wide and out of play. 13-12 advantage of Leo. And again, just a great matchup tonight between these two teams. But it's been the Patriots that have really found the edge, especially in late set situations. Can they channel that again here in the third? The dunk attack again off Litchfield. And we're even at 13 here in the third. Again, the start time is 7:30 here tonight. If this does go the distance, you could be looking at a late one here from Leo Cedarville. As another end of the net goes against Corbin Roth. And so the starting lineup not all on the floor for the Patriots at the moment. Leo going with their starting rotation at the moment. Here's Litchfield. Gets this up and over to Glass. Glass lobs it across. Fights Murphy. But off the tip of Murphy, it looks like. And they will rule it off the tip against Murphy. So 14 apiece here in the third. And Litchfield back to serve again. Litchfield gets it across. Now it goes back to Murphy. And out of play. Looks like it kind of just went to the right of Corbin Roth from at least our vantage point. Again for volleyball. Again, different vantage point for volleyball than what we would normally have for basketball. Timeout called by Leo. So 15-14 as the Lions trying to avoid a sweep and trying to avoid losing their first game in 12 matches. Their first loss since April 15th, potentially. Well, don't forget, coming up Monday night, we've got a big one in Columbia City as Carroll comes to town to take on the Eagles. We'll go on the air just before 7 p.m. right here on SummitCitySports.com. And then Tuesday, we head over to New Haven. And get our glimpse of the Homestead Spartans and what a dominant season that they've had taking on the New Haven Bulldogs. A sleeper in the South Side sectional. That should be a great matchup coming up on Tuesday the 6th. So Monday the 5th, Cinco de Mayo will be headed over to Columbia City for Carroll and Columbia City. And then May the 6th will be down at New Haven for Homestead and the Bulldogs. Harris gets this one across. 15-14 advantage of the Patriots. That's off the pole and on the board again for Leo. So we're even at 15 here in the third. The Lions again. It's been known to be their lowest scoring set on the season. Same for Heritage on average. Both averaging just about 21 points in their thirds, respectively. Here's Tagulis. Hits this one across. Great block dig the other way. Now the dunk from Walter. Brought out by Stetzel. They go for the reset. And they go to Walter. Blocked up front. Got it! It's the block up front from Nathan Treatish. And the Lions back on top, 16-15. Into the net it goes in the meantime. So the point giveth and the point taketh away. As Eli Tagulis ready to bring it back. 6'1" senior center. Of course, had quite the arm during football season as well. Here's Tagulis. Gets this little floater across down to Glass. Now tipped up the other way. And off the hand of Braden Walter. So Leo back up front, 17-16 here in the third. What's been a great matchup between these two teams here tonight. Still continuing to live up to the hype. So now we'll see Josiah Reynolds coming in. So again, different rotation for Coach Ashley Robbins and company. Has continued to be such and has been successful here in the third. Now it's Tagulis. Tagulis hits this off the top and off the hand of Harris. So Heritage again trading points with Leo. But who will find the momentum late here in the third? As we are even at 17. Here's Braden Walter again. Walter gets this one high. Dug down to Glass. Glass on the opposite end. Find Witzigerter. Blocked again. A great block coming in from Graham Simmons, the opposite hitter. And it's 18-17. So Walter again going to continue the rally here in the third. Here's the push from Walter on the other side. Walter gets this across now to Litchfield. Litchfield couldn't connect with Gerber on the opposite end, and we're still even at 18. Again, a great crowd here tonight. Here at Leo. And this one's out of the... It's in! Oh my, it's in! They saw it edge the back of the box. It was on the line. And now they'll have to go to our officials. We'll take a look at that again on our Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning replay to see if that point is going to stand or not. Yep, they will let it stand. Again? It happened again. So 2 consecutive aces off the hand of Brady Simpson. As the line has not been kind in this rally. They go now to Litchfield. Litchfield over to Gerber. Gets this down over to Glass. Glass sets over to Murphy. Tipped down, off to Litchfield and in! And the Lions all of a sudden on a run. As Coach Abby Tagulis wants to stop and think it over. So 18-21, the Lions now knocking on the door to extend the match to a fourth. Well, tonight's game on Summit City Sports is brought to you by the Big Eyed Fish. A Big Eyed Fish, a Fort Wayne staple for generations, where you can enjoy the best fish in Fort Wayne in a family-friendly environment, only at the Big Eyed Fish. By Kelly Automotive Group, with new state-of-the-art car wash facilities and free car washes when you buy from Kelly Automotive. Shop now at drivekelly.com. By Tom Steel Tire, with 2 locations off Clinton and Jefferson. They've been servicing the Fort Wayne area for over 40 years and help you find the perfect tire for your vehicle, only at Tom Steel Tire. So out of the timeout, 18-21, the Lions storming back thanks to 2 aces that edged the back of the box. This one blatantly out of the box this time. But again, credit to Brady Simpson for rattling off 2 aces in a row. Now the Patriots going to have to try to dig deep here if they want to end this one quick. Here's Buck. Now they go to Gerber. Gets the light approach on it. Goes to Stetzel. And into the net they go. Stetzel couldn't get the read on it. He wanted it to connect with Murphy. And the tying point coming off in the hands of Buck. Here in set number 3. Here's Buck. Grazes that one over. Dug by Glass. Now tipped over from Witzegruder. Witzegruder finds Litchfield. Dug again now by Simpson. Witzegruder again in the back. Dug by Walter. They go to Tagulis. Tipped down on the other end by Simmons. Witzegruder dug up high off the top. That's still good. Gerber now gets this out. Finds it over to Glass. Glass on the reception. Tipped down over to Buck. Blocked down and in. Hang on. It's into the net. It is a net point. A net point against the Leo. As somebody got a hand right in there. With more perspiration on the floor. Let's take a look at that again. And his shoe popped off. So it looks like Zeke Litchfield blew a tire, to say the least. Again, with the heights, you got to be ready to take that jump when you can. As they are giving him the shoe. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. You're giving him the shoe from a fellow teammate, potentially. How about that? So as they are trading sneakers here tonight. Not often you get to see that. As that gets Litchfield back on his feet with comfort. So we're even at 21. Here's Buck. Gets it down to Glass. Tipped over and out of play. It was off the hands of Lucas Stetzel. And all of a sudden the Patriots now want a quick 4-0 run, we should say, at an opportune time late here in the third. Can they find a way to close it out? We'll find out in just a moment. Again, tonight's matchup brought to you also by Ottenweller Contracting. From bid to build, they'll give you peace of mind only with Ottenweller Contracting. Summit Volleyball, training and building the highest quality volleyball players in the area. From ages 5 to 18, jump on board. Together we can reach the summit. By the Jolly Law Firm, the best defense. Online at jollylawfirm.com. Whether you're facing an OWI or any other criminal accusation, Jolly Law Firm is the answer. And by Siaka Cleaning and Restoration, providing commercial cleaning services, including janitorial, water damage, and state-of-the-art disinfecting services throughout Northeast Indiana. So a Heritage lead back up to 1 here in the third. This is brought across now for Stetzel. Stetzel blocked up again. That is on the board for the Lions. So it'll be a pole touch. So we're even at 22 here in the third. As the Leo comeback, could they fight to extend it here? Here's the big dig from Buck. Now they go down to Litchfield. Litchfield goes to Murphy. That's lobbed all the way back, finding Buck. Now again to Simmons, down low, off the hand, and out of play. A great push coming in from Lucas Stetzel to extend the lead to 1. So 23-22 here in the third. Again, the Lions come back and force a fourth. Here's Litchfield again. Is it out? It is in. It is in the box. As it grazes the back line. Again, the back line that is bend but not broken. Plenty of teams here tonight. Here's Simmons. Gets this over to Murphy. Murphy hits this one high. Stetzel trying to shut the door. And it's set point and advantage of Leo, 24-23. Simmons going to take a seat as Jacob Reese now coming in. And it's set point and advantage of the Lions, 24-23. Weitzinger gets this across. They go to Litchfield. Down and in. It got off the hand of Trent Glass. So we are going to go to extra points here in this third set. At least 26 can clinch, if not more. So the set point being blown. And an opportunity for Heritage to go for the match. Here's Roth to get this across. Tipped up, got it. Set point number 2 incoming for Leo. Thanks to Lucas Stetzel on the opposite end. 25-24. Here's Stetzel again. Stetzel, they go down, got it to Walter. Walter on the quick answer back to make it even at 25. So again, more points to come here in this third set. They've done a great job of at least continuing to keep this match afloat and just continuing to combat with each other. Here's Litchfield. Gets this over. They got to go to Murphy, and they do! It was off the hand of Nagel. And now set point number 3 for Leo. So will the third time officially be the charm for the Lions to force a fourth? That's a high swing out the other way. They go to Walter, lifts this one high. They gotta find Murphy, and they do! We're going to a fourth here at the Lions Den. A quick fourth set opportunity for the Lions, and the 11-game winning streak is still intact with the opportunity to take it for 12. Take a look at that again one more time, presented by Anderson Heating and Air Conditioning. Again, Murphy finding that open real estate as you see him on the set, the attack, and just got it in between 2 frontline players for the Patriots. So as we go to the fourth, Leo battles back, wins it 27-25. Not 26. Back in a moment.
Anderson Heating and Air, locally owned and operated with over 50 years of experience. Call us today and get a free quote on a brand new furnace and AC, financed and available. Don't wait. Call us today and sign up for a maintenance agreement and stay cool. Our maintenance agreements will ensure that you're first in line if you have an emergency, and we'll send one of our service techs out for cleanings twice a year. Call us at 557-0958 or request an appointment on our website. Call Anderson Heating and Air, where your emergency is our emergency.
Now I'm in here working out, and it's helped me get stronger, so I know that's going to help building my muscle, being able to power through defenders, get in the lane, be more confident, finishing at the basket through contacts. When you know you're in here putting the work in, it makes it easier for you to go on the court.
We head to the fourth with Leo coming back, but having to go to some extra points to do it. Is now the opportunity to extend their winning streak to 12 still is very much alive here at Leo High School. Welcome back, Joe Northern. Delighted to have you with us again. The Lions trying to get back into good graces and steal an all-important win against Heritage, a team that they lost to early on this season. 2-0 in the commanding sweep in that matchup. But can they do it again here in the fourth? We'll find out, as we're glad to have you with us here on this Wednesday night here in Leo. Again, a late start time. Due to the JV match being also just as entertaining too, mind you. with Heritage coming back and winning the last 2 out of 3 to win that one in 3 sets. But now it's Leo trying to play comeback. Potentially, if they steal this set, they'll be playing their third consecutive 5-game match. Heritage, on the other hand, wants to shut the door if they can. As they were ever so close to winning in the third, but got to try to battle back in the fourth. Only the 4th time this season they've played a fourth. And a quick push from Stetzel gets it started. So Stetzel on the big push. Pick it up right where he left off. And they get the first point. Here's the serve across the way from Glass. Glass now down to Litchfield. Litchfield lurking over for Glass. Glass at the opposite end, now finding Stetzel. Stetzel over to Tagulis. Tipped up the other way, finding more. Still kept live. Now they go to Stetzel. Stetzel down and in. Continues to go back and forth we go, but Leo now with a commanding advantage here in set number 4 and really rode a lot of momentum late in the third. Can they continue to keep it going here in the fourth? Here's Litchfield. Dug up by Witzengruder. Witzengruder over to Stetzel. Stetzel dug down by Tagulis. He couldn't get it. And it's on the board for Leo. Now they start the third set with a 3-0 run of their own. So Trent Glass continuing to bring it over. Glass gets this down to Gerber. Off to Tagulis. Tagulis. Again back to Leo territory. There's Stetzel, lobbed over by Glass to keep it alive. A great push on his end. They go to Simmons off the tip. Now back to Murphy. Back to Witzengruder! A 4-0 run, an advantage for the Lions. And it still continues to keep going. Take a look at that again real quick. Again, they set them up in the rotation, get it ready to go, and power it on the board. That's a side out, going to go against Gerber. And Leo with their longest point rally of the night thus far, started off on a 5-0 run. Here's Glass. That one's going to go short, but not a bad rally to get things started for Leo. Meanwhile, taking a look at Heritage, this is only the 4th time this season that they have gone to 4 sets. And in previous matchups, they are 2-1 in those as well, we should say. With wins over Columbia City and Concordia in 4. Another side out going to go against the Lions. But again, Heritage only going to a 4th set for just the 4th time this year. They lost one in 4 to Snyder on last Wednesday. And then 3-1 a loss win against Columbia City and 3-1 win against Concordia. That goes into the net off the hands of Murphy. So now Heritage trying to get back into it. 6-4 here in the 4th. Heritage with a 2-1 advantage. Leo trying to battle back. The tip now over for Stetzel. Stetzel gets it across. Now finding Tagulis. Down low, set up by Walter. Couldn't get it in time. So now it's the Patriots trying to ride the momentum. Coming what was once a 5-point lead down to 2. 6-4. Here's the swing from Reese. Now they take it back up top, down low again this time for Lucas Stetzel. So 7-4 the advantage. So again with Heritage only with 4 matchups going into at least a 4th set this season. Litchfield gets this down and in to answer right back. Meanwhile, on the opposite end for Leo, they haven't had a sweep set, or sweep match, we should say, a full match, since the Belmont sweep back on April 18th. They did have sweeps in an earlier classic on the 19th with Blackhawk Christian and Concordia at 2-0 pop. But not too many sweeps for this Lions team this season. So a team definitely built to try to play the long game if they can. Side out going to go against the Patriots, or for the Patriots, we should say. And the Lions now on the ropes yet again, 7-6 here in the fourth. Litchfield again gets this across. Heads down to Smith. Smith, little jumper, down low, got it. And all of a sudden, the Patriots have erased the Leo lead. And we are even at 7 here in the fourth. Litchfield again to continue the rally. Gets this one across. Now back over to Glass. Glass sets it down. Finds Murphy. Murphy still in motion. Looking now to Tagulis. Hit up on the other end by Raptis. Now down low over to Roth. Pivots across over to Glass. Glass continuing. Finding Harris. Harris gets it down. It's a little pinball action for Nagel as he couldn't get it up in time. And it's 8-7, Lions back on top. Heritage still looking for their first lead of the fourth set. A high swing coming off the hands. And an 8, and on the board. Well, all of a sudden, things are now continuing to change in the way for the Lions. As a bend but not break situation. That'll be a side out in the meantime, 9-8. So again, the Lions looking to play 5 sets for the third consecutive night. They had to battle back down against Warsaw, being down 2-1 in the fourth, and then won 2 in a row. They did also let Woodland back into it on Monday night, going up 2-0, and then dropping the third and fourth, and then winning it in commanding fashion in the fifth. That swing is in for Harris. And it's 10-8. Lions now with the advantage. As Ethan Smith's going to come off the court, Josiah Reynolds going to be entering, and he'll be off to serve. So Reynolds again to bring it over, 10-8. Lions with the advantage. Here's Gonzalez. Gets it across and an ace! Again, the Lions have been very good at trying to get aces on the season. Coming into tonight, they had 141. And already 3 on the board here in this matchup. An easy tip it in for Grant Simmons in the meantime. So not over yet. Not even close to over. As it's effectively a new matchup here at Leo. As Riley Murphy returns to action. And Braden Walter now to bring it out the other way. Walter, run jump serve. Gets this across to Stetzel. Stetzel now back to Wetzengruder. Wetzengruder the other way. Hits this one high. Down low to Murphy. Wetzengruder again. Over to Gerber. Gerber got it. A little mid-net collision there to cut it down to 1 as the Patriots trying to even the match. Brady Simpson going to be coming in and a quick rotation as it looks like Cooper Harris is going to be coming off the court for just a little bit. So Simpson back on the court. Braden Walter to bring it over for the Patriots, 11-10. Walter skates this one across. Now back over to Stetzel. Stetzel the other way. Tipped up over by Simmons. Now they got to go back. And into the net it goes. Now we are tied at 11. And so the Patriots looking for their first lead here in the fourth set. Can they get it off the hand of Braden Walter? Gets this across, but out. So a side out against Heritage. Again, having a little bit of inaccuracies on those surface errors to make it now a 1-point lead again for Leo. That one's received down to Litchfield. Doug to Gerber on the other end. Gerber now finding Stetzel. Stetzel down low on the opposite side. Finding Walter. Tips this off the hand and in. He got it off the hand of Nathan Tritish. And it's a 12-12 affair here in the fourth. And what has ended up being a very superb matchup here tonight. I'm glad that you've been joining us here on Summit City Sports tonight for what has been two of the landmark teams in the region. And Leo now back, gonna have to play comeback again as the Patriots have their first lead of the fourth. As Chase Buck will serve it, but a timeout will be called. So 13-12 the advantage of Heritage. Can they find a way to shut the door late here in this fourth set? Tonight's game on Summit City Sports is brought to you by the University of St. Francis with online programs built for your convenience and flexibility with most degrees that can be completed in 12 months. Visit online.sf.edu. By the specialists in design, build, mechanical, and refrigeration, TJW Industrial, tjwindustrial.com. By the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with the Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana, we are LIUNA. And brought to you by PSM's Edge Training Program, maximizing your athleticism through personalized performance training to reach your goals and get you to the next level. Visit parkviewsportsmedicine.com/edge to schedule your free consultation. 13-12 advantage of the Patriots. Their first lead of the fourth set. Can they continue to hang on and build on it and get an all-important road win? That's tipped back by Simpson, still kept alive. Now it's off the hands of Murphy. Here come the Patriots the other way, and Litchfield with a commanding push up front. So Litchfield again with a big push on the opposite end to get the lead back up to 2. So we take a look at that again. Again, a great play from the back of Glass, trying to keep it afloat. But it's Litchfield on the end. And how about an ace on the board? And you just missed. As all of a sudden the Patriots, they do well in late game situations. And they certainly want to continue on this one. 15-12, an advantage of Heritage. Here's Chase Buck. Gets this across, and an ace! So the Patriots now on a 5-1 run here in the fourth. As Cooper Harris is returning for Brady Simpson. So a 5-1 run. An advantage for the Pats. Buck gets this up. Finds Murphy. Into the net. And the run continues. So Heritage now on a 6-0 run. Leo started the fourth with a 5-0 sprint. But now the Patriots continuing it the other way as Buck gets it over. Hits this across to Stetzel. Out again to Buck. Now finding Tagulis. That's tipped up down. Murphy tries to keep it afloat. Stetzel, a little dunk block coming in from Simmons. To Tagulis. Down to Gerber, but out. But off the hand. It was off the hand. And Coach Ashley Robbins wants to stop and think it over. So 12-18. It's the Patriots now on an 8-0 run, a 7-0 run, I beg your pardon, here in the fourth. And in a game that has been wild and wacky throughout the night thus far. As Heritage all of a sudden firing on all cylinders. With Leo trying to find answers after a commanding third set comeback and a dynamite start here in the fourth, but have since really been routed out by the Patriots late here in the fourth to make it a 6-point affair. We will have our Parkview Sports Medicine player of the game coming up at the conclusion of this one. Get a lot of different guys you can choose, but we'll tell you who we choose coming up at the end of this. Buck gets the side out, and an opportunity for relief for the Lions. But not before 7 consecutive points on that rally for the Patriots. Glass gets it across. Now to Tagulis, to Litchfield. A light tip. Got a pinballs off multiple Lions. And the lead back to 6, 19-13 here in the fourth. So again, 6 points away from wrapping up this one and ending the Leo streak at 11. Here's Simmons off the push. Now finding Glass. Glass hits this across down to Stetzel. That is a point for Heritage. It's a little bit of a mid-collision in the meantime to make it a 7-point affair and the largest lead that anybody has held tonight. Here's Stetzel, down to Buck. Buck the other way to Litchfield. Blocked up again, saved by Buck, a great move. Gerber can't get it up and over. So 20-14 here in the fourth. Again, the Lions battle back. Or will the Patriots cruise on to 12-2? Litchfield again. With his height and his accuracy continuing to dominate. And it's 21-14 advantage for the Pats. So Witzengerter and Raptis coming out. Joel Dillingham back in play. And so is Ethan Smith for Leo. On the floor for Heritage right now. Jacob Reese to serve. Corbin Roth. Eli Tagulis, Zeke Litchfield. And Chase Buck on the floor. It's the push across from Reese. Down low and into the nets. Looks like Joel Dillingham was thrown off just a little bit here in the fourth, but it's well on the way for the Patriots to shut this one down. Here's Reese. Skates this one across. Now finding Smith. Looks up over to Stetzel. Down low, it bounces over the head of Walter. He thought that he had it out in time, but a great push block the other way. So they're not out of the woods yet. Leo not out of it yet. Here's Stetzel. With a low serve across. Get this up. Blocked again by Murphy. And the Lions trying to roar on back here in the fourth. Thanks to that dynamite combination of Murphy and Stetzel. Here's Stetzel again. This one's across. Now finding Smith. Smith blocked up. Litchfield with the block of his own. And both benches getting loud here at Leo tonight. 23-16. The Patriots trying to shut the door. Leo trying to bust it open. Litchfield across. Now back down to Murphy. Sets over for Litchfield. They go to Walter. That is out of play. So the swing goes wide. And the Lions now within 6. And the opportunity for Joel Dillingham on the opposite end. Here's Dillingham. That's way high. Buck got a hand on it. Now they got to hurry and get it over, and they do. It's still kept live. Great move by Tagulis. Down low for Murphy. As Buck tried to get a hand on it, but nearly looked like it was going to float out of the box. So all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game here in the fourth, 23-18. Here's the push now for Tagulis. Gets this blocked up and out of play. And now it is match point for the Patriots as Nathan Treatish gets it out. So it'll be Eli Tagulis to bring it over here in match point here in the fourth. So wait for the whistle. Here's Tagulis. Gets this across, finds Glass, gets it over to Stetzel, down low to Buck. Nice save from Buck. Walter blocked up again and on the board. Leo not done yet. 24-19. As Nathan Treatish gets it over and across in time. And now it'll be up to Josiah Reynolds. Try to extend the rally. Here's Reynolds. A low serve over to Walter. Tipped down again from Weitzengruder. Back over to Simmons. Weitzengruder out of play. And that is how this one comes to an end. So on the sign out, your final score in 4 as Heritage gets the win. 25-21, 25-19, 25-21, twice, first and second sets. 25-19 in the fourth, but dropping the third, 25-27. No surprise, our Parkview Sports Medicine player of their game has to go to Zeke Litchfield. His dynamic attacks up the front, pushing Heritage to an all-important victory, moves them to 12-2 on the season. Leo drops to 14-4, ending the 11-match winning streak. So next up, again, both of these two teams have stacked competition coming up down the road as Heritage will welcome Carroll tomorrow night at their place. That is a 7 p.m. start time. Should be a fun one down in Monroeville. And for Leo, they've got a few days off when they welcome Snyder for a Saturday morning special. That's going to be at 10:30 right here at Leo High School. And we will be back on the air with you on Monday night, May the 5th. About 7:15 p.m. will be our start time, as it'll be Carroll taking on Columbia City at Columbia City. As again, two of the top two, more top teams going to do battle. Potential DeKalb sectional preview in that one. So you don't want to miss that one coming up on May the 5th. That'll do it for us here tonight. For all of us here at Summit City Sports, Joe Northern saying so long from Leo, where Heritage wins it in 4, but a lot closer than you think. So long, everybody.
Countless hours of time in the pool, countless hours in here, making my body stronger, and it's been kind of like a mental thing too, just telling myself like you're fast enough to be able to compete with those girls that are at other Division I schools that I'll be competing against next year. It was like a big decision of like where I was going to go to school, and Valpo was a great experience on my first initial visit. And then once I met some of the teammates at an invitational that I went and watched, they were also just super inviting. The ability to be able to further my swim career and the equipment that I'm able to use at Valpo, I think can help me make really big strides. 18 months ago, I was diagnosed with a 3rd-degree heart block. They had to put a pacemaker in my chest, and so once I had that surgery done and everything, I started at PSM and getting my shoulder mobility and my shoulder strength back, and now that I have that, making it even stronger than it was before, and really spend the time that I need to be able to compete at the level that I want to compete at. I've been in the pool since I was 6 years old. It's not an easy sport to just pick up and start doing, but if you have the dedication to do it, you can do it just fine.
Welcome to the Summit City, home to the 260's dedicated high school athletes and fans. Each victory and celebration captured by our cameras. Treasure the highlights from the Summit Athletic Conference this season, or complete games live or on demand. After all, nobody's more proud to call